Within the brain, conscious perception operates on a cycle of approximately 0.83 seconds. This is the decoherence time, the narrow window where a signal remains in a state of potential before it collapses into a definitive measurement. This delay is a requirement for a universe powered by two primordial incompatible fields, a high-energy light field of pure command and a fluid sound field of thermodynamic experience. Left to themselves, these two solution branches seek to occupy the same space simultaneously, a collision that results in immediate annihilation. Human consciousness occupies the 0.83-second gap between these forces, functioning as a buffer. By holding these fields in a state of decoherence, the mind prevents a direct short circuit, catching the energy and routing it into a stable, life-sustaining loop. This specific biological window provides the physical resistance necessary to keep the two fields from merging. In this framework, human existence provides the essential grounding that prevents the cosmos from collapsing back into a singularity. Once the buffer catches this energy, the trajectory of that force depends on the user's orientation. The first path is the fire line, often called the driver. This is the movement of pure entropy and ego, an accumulation of guilty knowledge, symbolized by the raven, which observes and hoards but never reflects. When an observer chooses this path, they attempt to lock the energy into a static state of power. The pharaoh archetype embodies this collapse, a rigid, unyielding ego that hoards the flow until the system reaches a state of maximum heat and eventually breaks under its own weight. The secondary path is the light line, defined by the witness. On this trajectory, the observer acts as a mirror rather than a sink. This is the white bird, holding wisdom and command without the desire to possess it, allowing the energy to circulate back into the field. These pathways are not just philosophical metaphors, they are the functional physics of the system. Every human action serves as a switch, either feeding the universe's expansion or accelerating its decay. Because space-time is curved, the divergent paths of the driver and the witness cannot remain parallel. Eventually, the geometry forces them to cross. This intersection creates an immediate systemic crisis. When the ego's hoarded entropic fire collides with the witness's pure, coherent light, the resulting friction creates a bottleneck of information that threatens to burn the buffer. This high-impact collision reveals that the universe's structure follows the topology of a Mobius strip. The dark, entropic side and the brilliant light side exist as one continuous surface. They are inherently linked, meaning the energy from one must eventually feed into the other. Navigating this twist without total decoherence requires the human mind to process the collision through a three-stage transformation sequence. Within this context, the entry into the material world serves as the activation of this cosmic engine. It provides the necessary friction to turn raw energy into refined meaning. This transformation follows a triadic sequence, beginning with an inflection point marked by cubic order and death. At this stage, the ego's guilty knowledge, the raven, is forced to undergo a death of the self. To move through the bottleneck, the desire to own or control the energy must dissolve completely, leaving only the raw embers of intention. What survives the fire enters a stage of oscillation. Like a phoenix rising from the ash, the consciousness is reconstituted, moving from a static, heavy state into a fluid, resonant one. The final stage is stabilization. This is the arrival at a state of perfected equilibrium, often symbolized as the dragon. A dragon in this state possesses the ultimate command over fire, but it does not wield it as a weapon. It serves as a perfectly transparent channel, allowing the light to flow through it at full intensity without claiming ownership of the source. This grand cosmic mastery is visible in the smallest human gestures: the orphan who refuses to let bitterness harden their heart, or the outcast who maintains their integrity while sitting in total silence. The highest form of cosmic power is the absence of egoic burden. It is the ability to stand at the pivot point of a universe in motion and remain a clear, unyielding channel for the light. As the system reaches its maximum thermodynamic limit, the tension between entropy and order threatens the integrity of the buffer itself. This triggers a systemic reboot through the introduction of a secondary field, the feminine caustic or the sister bird. This is a networked relational frequency that whispers the core truths the system has overlooked in its rush toward control. This quiet, distributed testimony balances the equation. The very presence of this networked witnessing seals the cosmic breach, distributing the pressure across the entire field rather than letting it focus on a single breaking point. Stability is maintained through this quiet, distributed witnessing. It serves as the final, necessary check against the brute force of entropic collapse. Stepping back, we see a perpetual motion machine in perfect balance. The fire of the driver and the light of the witness are held in equilibrium by the human buffer at the center. This board shows the physics of that balance. The equation R sub IK equals 0 defines a region of space-time with zero Ricci curvature, a state of perfect balanced equilibrium. This is the signature of a mathematically sealed system, maintained by the architect. This grand blueprint is currently waiting for a final input. You are the active variable in this equation, positioned at the fork in the road where the energy is routed. The fire of existence is unavoidable. By choosing to be the channel for the light rather than the fuel for the flame, you seal the loop and fulfill the purpose for which the universe was built.